You're listening to Factual America. How did you decide to create this film that you've made, and how did you so let's start off. How did you decide to structure the story? Because that's interesting.
Well, it took us a long time because we really had our vision kind of stayed the same throughout the years of producing it. We wanted to have a film that would be aesthetically very innovative, and that we would want to create a documentary that per se wouldn't be necessarily what you expect of a documentary. We wanted to dive into his stream of consciousness and create a moment that is more poetic than narrative, and so create shots, create an editing that would make things interact in something that would not be necessarily understandable. So we wanted to dive into his stream of consciousness and express that moment in a way, and then go out of it and have more like an immersive experience of his encounters and his daily life. And we filmed for so many years, and we kind of like experienced living with Brian and his family, because we really were like very close to them, and they welcomed us very generously, so we could really sense what was going on years after years. And we, at first, we wanted to film what it is to be a hillbilly, the interactions you like, the strong relationship you have to your land and all that. But then we kind of understood that there was something at stake, something was going on, which was, it was getting darker and darker, and you could feel Brian becoming more and more a witness, a desperate witness of the exhaustion of this land, and somehow he kind of saw this moment, which is weird because we finished the film, we begin our film with an epidemic, and because we felt that there was something about death that was happening, like in every sense of the word. And so that's kind of that's what we realized going through the editing process, is that we could have decided to just make the film based on the footage we had like the last year, like in 2019, but we really felt it would be very powerful and beautiful to have this kind of fresk that go through some years, and where the children grow up and time passes, and even though there is not a date that can tell you time is passing by, you somehow feel that. And so the structure of the film was changed from the
beginning to the end of the editing, yeah.
And also from the writing process through the editing process. It was kind of a very important moment for us, the editing part, because we had all that, like, it's kind of always the same in documentary. You have all this collected material, and you have to find one path inside. So we had like 130 hours of shooting so we had a lot of hours and a lot of options. We had tried all kinds of ways of directing, and it was a moment to be affirmative and to decide, okay, this is the story. This is a story of one man, Brian Ritchie, and this is his inner path that we want to express. And at the same time, through this inner journey, we want to meet the ones that stayed, the ones that are here, still here, the one we want to the audience to feel all the ghosts that are amongst them, because some passed away, some left, some cannot come back. So, and then we wanted to project Brian into the future, and for him to kind of not disappear, but I mean, his voice stops because he's speechless in front of that catastrophe. but the kids, which we loved and loved filming with, they take over the film and they create they play in the ruins of this world and they make something out of it. We don't know what. We know there is a heavy cloud over their heads, but they have life because they're kids. So that's kind of how we decided to structure the film, is like to what is the beginning, and the beginning is this epidemic, which is kind of
because it's a story of contamination.
Yeah,
that's the contamination of death.
Yeah,
which goes through the film.
Yeah, we wanted to have that. You say prologue in English? A prologue? Yeah, we wanted to open the film on because we heard about this epidemic that killed all these deers one summer, and people said, yeah, it smelled like death, and we saw all these bodies in the waters. Deers were dying, and we were not there that summer to film that. But it struck us that it was a powerful story, and we decided to open the film on that because it was kind of a metaphor of what the region was experiencing, and it was a way of opening the documentary on a
it's a tale.
Yeah,
it's a tale which very fastly become a nightmare.
I mean. Yeah. And also we had this text that he screamed like this kind of how like a preacher does, and he wrote that for us, but he decided to do that. We came one summer and he was like, oh, I have this recording, and it was very important for us to use that because it's how Brian, it's a journey through the violent days of the beginning of America, and he goes through all this amazing preach that arrives to his situation. So